This is 65 yards down the slope, 10 degrees. Again, not a huge issue with the cut. That's about 2% when you're shooting downhill, so it's not too bad. The hard thing about this target is kind of the footing. I mean, they shot this yesterday, obviously, and there's a bit of a platform here, but still, even, well, I don't think the archers did a very good job yesterday of doing the flat platform, but our feet are pointing downhill, my body wants to sway that way. If you're left-handed, you're going to get real close to these leaves, and there's some leaves halfway down as well. I think Chris shot through a leaf yesterday and got a bullet hole, so his bow's alright. On the other side of the peg here, it's a little bit more comfortable for the left-handers, a lot more uncomfortable for the right-handers. It's not great footing, so that's the main difficulty with this one, and the fact that it's a 65-yard target on a 65-centimeter face. That's almost as bad as shooting a 20-meter bunny, which is, like I say, difficult. There'll be a bit of a cross slope, but I don't think that's going to affect these guys too much. Should see some clean targets, but like I say, it's a small dot to aim at. They all are.
Right, and we're back with the top ladies group. The doors have fallen off a little bit for the British girl. That's a 5, but I think the woman behind her, Carolin Landesfeind, at the moment we're looking at the gents scores, but I think that Carolin is getting awfully close. So, you've got 5 for Hope.
6 targets to go, including this. Can she hold on?
Yeah, she's still smiling. I mean, she knows that it's just a bad weekend. Hopefully it doesn't knock her back too much for the world fields. Carolin, on the other hand, Landesfeind, has shot very well. I would hope that she would do more of these. It's always difficult for the German shooters to balance their calendar. They are required to go to so many shoots by their federation that it is tricky.
Just snucking into the 5 there.
Yeah. Interesting to see if everybody goes right.
Oof.
That's low out the bottom. Low 4.
Seemed like that was expected.
Yeah.
Did you see anything in a shot there to make it do that?
It's
or was
tired.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the be all and end all. It's kind of like yesterday. It's reasonable through about 10, and then it's all got away a little. And that's the difference, is that Landesfeind, that's a pretty poor shot, but it catches.
She's catching them, Hope's not at the moment.
Yeah. And that will take them to all square, as you can see. And I think it'll be... it's not a dig. It's not that she's not trying. I just don't think that she's got anything in the tank to stop that downward spiral. And Landesfeind to finish on the podium on her first attempt, that would not be a bad effort. She's definitely a good enough shooter.
Though, yeah. It's not a surprise, or is it?
With the people here, and then a decent shot X, but it's not bringing a lot of happiness to Hope. Scores just leaking away. It's not going to be 3 in a row, that's for certain.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. There's a song there somewhere. Yeah,
X.
nice.
And just broke better for her. So that's them all square at this point. So this has been a reasonable battle between these two. Reginald is never going to look that tall ever again. 678, the pair coming into this.
It's going to be a tight finish for these guys.
Yes.
We've got Fabian in and around there as well.
It's going to be his best result. There's no discussion. Whether or not he can push forwards into this is...
It'll be the best result for all 3 of the guys in contention in this 3rd spot.
By a long way.
Yeah.
Now then.
Yeah,
it's good enough. It's not that back end has to go in a straight line.
It's in the X. That's in the 5.
5. Makes 5s. I think that's not necessarily up there. It does like this my bay. It's not a bad piece of cake. But he just needs to be a little little better at a full draw, Reginald.
What's he doing wrong?
He's just lazy. To a large degree, the more pressure that Reginald's under, the same. That's an excellent piece of English, Alistair. It never looks the same when he's under pressure.
Okay.
Full draw.
That's in the 5.
Yep. Getting a bit of... It is, on top of everything else, the one thing that we often forget about this particular course is it's a pain with light.
Yeah, it is.
You can tell by the light bouncing off those target faces.
Yeah, nice shot.
Yep, that's a better shot. And
he's coping with this pressure quite well because, like I said, it is very, very tight.
I mean, he's not. I mean, he's so much better an archer than he was a year ago. I mean, a year ago, people A went Reginald who,
yeah,
and B, if he did have results, they were purely.
Ooh,
oh, that's wild! Now, take your opportunity, Reginald.
At full draw, I'm not sure you'd notice that.
No, but just make. But this is what you should be doing every single shot: is making a decent shot.
Yeah,
and he
nice.
has. That 15's it. Thank you very much. You know, it's going to be nip and tuck, but once you're ahead, you're ahead. Running out of things, really superlatives to use as far as Toya's concerned. I mean, it says it all, really, doesn't it? She's 15 points up.
That's a
target.
This is an incredible round that she's shooting today.
Yes. Could have stood it the other way round because she was the short one to start with.
Yeah.
Has made it tricky. Heather again has done what she does well, which is just battle on. Middle. And when everything goes front and back, those arrows land in the middle. Toya, that's
nice.
that's an X, and there's a pair of X's for the minute, and what Toya's doing now has, believe it or not, so many fewer moving parts than it used to. It's still got quite a lot of moving parts.
It is looking good.
No, but that was always going to be the requirement, but also without trying to break the sort of natural Toya churner part of it. I don't think I pronounced that wrong, but I used to call her Cerner, and I know that's wrong as well, before she got married. But yeah, there's still a lot of moving parts, but she has worked out what the peep sight's for nowadays, so that's good. That's a better shot. Just out of the X, but you know, she's rarely looked edgy.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's been 5.5s most days.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't shoot the number of X's and you can't shoot the score without it being so.
She's putting a lot of the boys to shame this weekend.
That's a good X. I mean, the thing about Heather is that when she gets stuff going front and back, it's just too critical. But when it goes front and back, I understand why she shoots the way she shoots. When it goes front and back, you know, those big long arms.
That's in the middle.
That's an excellent shot. When it goes front and back, it feels good and it's always going to work. For me, it's a bit, like I say, there's a bit of a cascade effect if it doesn't work.
Okay.
But don't sway around like that. Good choice. I mean, you did go that you're standing on something that makes you...
Yeah,
but literally with the camera looking up her nose, you could see her sway in through about 1.5 inches.
I'd like to think a lot of archers have been through there now and sort of made it a bit better, but...
Why? Because they're big?
Because, I don't know, because there's a lot of archers.
But also, you get to the end of a day... Nothing ever looks straight on this field.
Yeah.
You know, nothing, and that's by choice. You know, nothing sits nicely in your scope.
There's not a lot for her to play for at the moment, Heather. Now, I mean, she's fairly solid in second.
Yeah, Caroline's not going to catch her. Hope's going backwards. She's not within 20 on the X count. She's
basically she's just got to not do anything stupid, and she'll walk away with second, and that's at least 3 draws now, isn't it? This would be the stupid thing. She comes down on her 4th draw, and then they all go, nope, that's a miss.
They were pretty hot on checking, like telling each other how many draws you'd had. I would say this will be number 3.
What?
Yes. She's just not quick. just settling. Front and back. Yep. That's good enough shot.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yes. No, I mean, it's 3 X's. It is what it is. Yeah. When it goes, and downhill helps her out a little bit, as it does with all good archers. When it goes, it goes. Now, Mikey's just had a weird day, hasn't he? I mean,
it's been a struggle. He's had.
Yeah, but he's strung together like a huge number of X's and clean targets, and then drop points.
Yeah.
Out of 5 for Mike.
I mean, he'd be, well, not overly disappointed. I know it's at the 5, but I mean, he's all day. I think has been, these kind of 5s that you can't really explain.
Yeah, because then, I mean, we saw him on the last film target put 3 arrows together close enough to be like a 23-15.
Yeah.
And you're there going like, well, I'm better than daylight between my arrows.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly, he'll sort this out for European Championships and World Cup.
I think he'll be shooting a different bow for the 50 metres, but I think I'd be more concerned about how does he know how to fix it for the
I don't think you get to have shot to
well,
that
no, but you know what I mean. It's just like if he's having left and right problems, does he like? I know it's
still big scoring what he's done,
yeah.
And he's going to go to Theta Field, which like the left and rights are not really going to show up.
No, but you want a bow hitting exactly where you want them to, and he hasn't had that this weekend, has he?
He's only looked poor compared to Stephan Hansen.
Yeah.
I think, don't get me wrong, he's been pedalling quite solidly under the water, but I don't think that's next. Yeah, I mean we're relatively critical about what he's doing. It's not a lot of points dropped. It's not.
I think it's
vintage
just more his
Mike Schloesser.
No, I think it's just more his attitude that I've seen from him. He just seems disappointed. That's a 4 from Stephan to finish. That squeezes it up a little bit. There's only 1 point in there now.
Yeah, but that's also what has got to irritate the hell out of Mike about his performance today. Is that it's not like Stephan has run away from him. No. On the X count has looked good. So Toya 15 up. Hope is 8 back on the X's. Yeah, I mean Heather's just keeping daylight, and Hope would like to keep her head above water for 3rd place. Stephan Hansen, I mean that's my point. He's 13 X's up, so he's shot a lot wilder and a lot better than Mike Schloesser. Reginald Kools took that point back there. Would be awesome for him to make the podium. I think the nerves might get to him a little bit. We will be back with the last target.